In this video, we will talk about how to trim a surface in Civil 3D. Uh, in this drawing here, I've got my geomap turned on, so I have a coordinate system all set up, and I've brought a LiDAR surface into this drawing. And if you watched any of the other drawings, I've also trimmed that aerial map down, so I can turn the aerial map off. Let me go to my geolocation and turn off the aerial map, and I still have this captured map area showing on the screen here. And I've got this giant surface that I need to work with, but this surface is many acres. It is a large set of data, and it bogs down the processor on my computer, so I want to trim it down a little bit to make it easier to work with. And what would be nice is if I could trim that surface to match the area of this map capture that I've got, this image of a map behind the surface. So what I want to do is I'm just going to create a rectangle, and I'm going to snap it to the corners of my geo map because that's the area I want to trim to. And this works with any polyline. So I've got this polyline here. I want to trim the surface down so that it does not extend beyond the borders of this rectangle. And that's pretty easy to do. If you have your tool space open in the Prospector tab, if you go to your surfaces and expand your surfaces, so it might look like this. If you click that little plus symbol, it will expand your surfaces drop down or your surfaces menu. Here is my surface. I've called it North Theo. I can expand that as well and see what's in there. A few options here. The only one I can click on right now is the definition. I want to expand the definition for surfaces. So this is all of the stuff that the computer uses to define this surface. Right now I have contours and I've edited these surfaces this surface a few times. But what I want to do is I want to add a boundary. So if I right click on boundary, it gives me the option to add. So I will click on add, and I can name this boundary surface extents, for example. And it is an outer boundary. It gives you a few different options here, but I'm going to use outer boundary because that's what I want to define. The outer boundary of this surface will be this rectangle. Non-destructive break line, I'm going to leave that checked for now. Mid-ordinate distance, this would matter if I have any curves in the polyline that defines my border. In this case, it shouldn't have any effect, so I could leave it at 1 foot. I could drop it down to 1/10, but again, with straight edges, mid-ordinate distance should not be an issue. So I'll click OK. And then it's asking me to select an object. If I look at the command line, it says select object. So I'm just going to click on that polyline I drew, that rectangle, and the computer has trimmed away the surface. Everything outside of that rectangle has been trimmed away. So now you have a much smaller surface to work with. You have much less data bogging down the processor. It's a pretty handy little tool. So hope you found that helpful.